What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Footy with an Edge. We're back again. We're going to talk about the Brighton game that's coming up tomorrow. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. My studio lights just fell over and knocked into my webcam just before I went live. This sounds a little bit like, the dog ate my homework, but I promise you, I purchased like these $100 lights off of Amazon, and I regret I regret every minute of it. Not because the lights are bad, because the stand they gave me is like the worst stand you can ever you know expect or imagine. So even my camera, does it look a little bit off? There's too much space over my head. Yeah, the camera's been knocked off. Anyways, just I'm in shock. What can I say? Guys, we have a Brighton game. Sorry, we have an FA Cup game that we're playing against Brighton tomorrow. And I don't know how to feel about this one, because on the one hand, we had a decent performance. Musi's name says Amazon out. I love it. So basically, we are going to see pretty much the same team tomorrow, right? Brian Mbeumo has been knocked out of AFCON, so he will be available the following week, I'm going to guess, because this has been a draining tournament. But he still won't start. So this is the team we're expected to see, which is pretty much the exact same team we played against Burnley, with Dalot and Shaw as the fullbacks, Dorgu as the left-sided midfielder or left winger, Cunha as the right-sided midfielder or right winger, Bruno in the 10, and Šeško obviously as the striker. Now, what can we expect in this game? Look, Brighton are a team that want to keep possession, right? If we go look at their average possession stats, let me just pull this up. Average possession Premier League. Let's go to FOTMob. Okay, so Brighton are at 52% in terms of average possession, and we are at 54%. So what that means is that most teams they come against, they are having more of the ball. And then I'm assuming every team that's above them, they're having less of the ball or something similar to that, right? I'm not overly simplifying it. But if we look at their last few games against City, they have 40% possession. Oops. Brighton. Against Burnley, they had 60% possession. Against West Ham, they had 62% possession. So this is what I mean, right? Against the lower level teams, they are having lower possession compared to us. And this is kind of what we can expect from them, right? They're going to have higher possession or try to keep at least 55% of the ball, which means we can get some opportunities to play on the counterattack. And they have Pascal Gross, who's come back from Dortmund, I believe. So that's a good midfield addition to them, and he always plays well against us. We have Van Hecke and Lewis Dunk also playing that game. These are two defenders that I would take in a heartbeat at United. Lewis Dunk's obviously a little bit older, but Van Hecke for sure. I'd love to take him. And then you have De Kuiper, who I scouted as one of the left back shouts for us a little while back. Sorry, guys. I'm like sinking into my chair. I hate this camera. What's happened to this camera? Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. But you can see the top of my monitor. Great. Okay, it is what it is. Next, I'll fix it next call, guys. But yeah, and then they're playing Ruder and Gomez in behind, with Matoma being fit this time. Last time we played him, he wasn't fit. So this is definitely a new challenge for us, because we don't know what Darren Fletcher teams look like against teams that want to keep the ball. Obviously, against Burnley, we had lots of possession. If these guys allow us to have a lot more possession and play us on the counterattack, it could be a bad loss for us, right? Guys, give me 1 second. I literally look like a tiny person on my camera. I need to go fix this. Sorry, it's bothering me. I'll bring Rishi on. Rishi, you can handle the conversation till I fix my.
Yeah, of course. So, guys, I just want to reframe something while Andy's handling his camera issues. Over the last few days, since Amarim has been sacked, we've had like a processing period where we've kind of not been happy with the kind of direction that the club has taken. Of course, we've felt that it was not the right move to make, or even if it was the right move, it was definitely not the right time, right? And it's brought into question all these things that the club is doing, the decision making process. Safe to say that majority of the fans are not happy, and kind of might have crept in through my behavior at least, that I'm not really happy with what's going on. So I have something. Andy, you're on mute. Let me just
Is
complete my
is
thought
that
here.
is that better though? My camera.
You look blue, bro.
Can you tell me about the height and the angle?
It's this.
That's
It's
our
pretty much the same. I don't think you've changed much. Maybe a little bit.
okay. Okay. Sorry. Continue. Continue.
Yeah. So yeah. So I was just thinking that maybe it is time to look at what is the best that can be done in this season, because I don't think I can get through the next 5 months while just being negative and criticizing this club. I think it's fair to say that we are going to have a watchful eye on their actions, right? But let's try to see what are the positives in this, because I recently found out that our Kakmeister General, sorry, I know I said I was going to be positive, but if he's earned the nickname, he's earned the nickname, right? Our Kakmeister General, Jason Wilcox, he is an exponent of judo, and in fact, he's so good that it was like a touch and go between football and being a professional judoka. And guess who was another famous martial arts exponent who people didn't think would amount to anything, but then ended up becoming like really good. I'll give you guys 5 seconds to guess who it was. It's Po from Kung Fu Panda. It's Po from Kung Fu Panda, right? No one believed in him, but Shifu believed in him. And you know what Shifu was? Shifu was a rat. And you know who the rat is at United, right? It's the big rat. It's Jim Ratcliffe. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Like Kung Fu Panda, the childhood classic. I'm gonna have faith that Jason Wilcox is gonna amount to something and do right by this club for the next month or so, or till whenever they decide to keep him in a job.
Master
Uh,
Shifu was a rodent. Sorry, was not a rodent. He was a red panda. Just
he
for
looked like a
clarification.
rat, dude. If he looks like a rat and he behaves like a rat, he's going to be a rat. At least there are rats in the board and in the stadium, right? So I'm going to stick with that analogy, because I did not know that Wilcox knows judo. And on the off chance that I ever visit the UK and he happens to see one of these episodes, I don't want him to attack me, dude. So yeah, I think personally it's a personal declaration. I'm going to try to see the positive in this, in what we can do going ahead. Andy, I'm excited about the FA Cup game, because the cup brings possibilities, and you saw the crazy results we had today. Palace losing to Macclesfield, um, City doing 10-1 on Exeter. Bro, City gets so many of these easy passes, bro. It's as good as a buy, right? Like they get an easy pass up to like the fifth round, the sixth round, probably even the quarterfinals are like very easy for them. And yeah, I mean it's just a rub
Did,
of green, I guess.
didn't Newcastle just play Bournemouth in the Premier League,
Did they?
or was it against somebody else that they won the last minute game? Oh, it was against Leeds. Sorry,
Yeah.
Bournemouth
Grace
played
Sheridan, by the
Tuesday.
way, she's backing me up. She says Jim is a rat. So thanks, Grace, for backing me
Someone
up.
saying my mic isn't working.
I think in general your mic doesn't work that well too, because whenever like a lot of people are talking, your mic gets drowned out the most.
But is it
And
working right now?
I mean, I can hear you faintly. I think the others might tell us in the chat that I might be louder than Andy, right? Please tell us in the chat, guys. Shaylin says Rishi doing crazy dad jokes. You got the crazy part right, bro. I'm not a dad yet, uh, but yeah, I'm kind of crazy. Uh, in all honesty, I think we draw 2-2 and out on penalty kicks. Damn, dude. I don't know. I want to be a little bit positive. I think no one knows what Fletcher's game is. I know he's tried to spam a lot of crosses. And the thing about Bournemouth is, um, when we played them at Old Trafford, we employed a very good counter press against them. So, yeah, Blue Fox says you are louder than Andy.
Rishi, you know why
Gordon
that
Cunningham.
happens? Because most people join from their phone and the phone does an amplification on its own side. Whereas my mic has got a very controlled setting and what's it called? I control the level for it. So it's not that I'm doing something wrong from my side. If I blow it up further, the sound quality goes down. So we can talk about this offline as well, but I'm just telling you, it's not, I'm not trying
No,
to
no, I
keep
just
my
said
voice
because
lower
you
than
asked
everybody
if
else.
you sound fainter than I
Somebody
do.
said there
That's
was a
what.
mic issue, and in previous streams, the mic issue has been happening. Just one person said it. Everybody else says it sounds okay now. So
All right,
we can talk about it offline.
cool. So I have a feeling that I have a feeling we're going to win this game. I
What?
genuinely feel we're going to win this game
Why do you get that feeling?
because I think they're going to bring back Mbumo. I think they're going to bring back Mazraoui. I think Dalo's going to start, but we're going to have some good backup on the bench. The problem with this five-match run we've had
Mbumo
from,
played yesterday, bro. He can't play again in 2 days.
yeah, but I think they will bring him off the bench or whatever.
I don't think so. He played 2 days ago, dude. He's probably just traveled from Morocco like yesterday or
Yeah,
even
but didn't
today.
didn't Lyle Foster play for South Africa and then turn up for Burnley?
But I don't know if that was a 2 day gap though.
I think it was a 2 day gap. There's nothing in the FIFA rules that prevents people, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to have a word with.
No, it's not about the FIFA rules. It's just about the what the fitness department thinks is right.
Right. So I have a feeling we're going to win this game because I think you can beat the Brighton counter press. We did that very well against Brighton in at Old Trafford, Uh, and of course Cunha had a very good game against them. So a team that's compact and kind of sits in a mid block, I think Cunha has a good shot because he has a chance to drive with the ball. If we start quickly, and if you remember, Sheshko had a very good game against Brighton, right? You remember that? He laid on
Yeah.
the assist for the Mbumo goal or the Cunha goal. I forget which one. So I have a feeling that we're going to do well. It's a cup game. I'll tell you, but the bigger reason why I think Fletcher's going to do well, I have a feeling they're going to offer him the interim job.
What so the one reason I can see why giving him the interim job maybe makes sense is because if it doesn't turn out well, you could always bring in another interim and just give him the under 18 job again. Like it won't have to be a sacking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it won't have to have the negative connotations of what it would take to bring in another guy and then sack him. Because what happens is if you bring in Ollie or Carrick now as the interim and the results are really bad, you have to sack them and take them out of the club. You can't just make
Yeah,
them the assistant, right? Whereas at
correct.
least if you just keep Darren Fletcher in the job, you can bring somebody in and then you can just move Fletcher into the assistant role.
Yeah, I think if they had to hire uh, Carrick or Ollie, they would have already done it. The reason they want to wait for the Brighton game is they have two positive results to show for it. If we win tomorrow, then Fletcher is getting the job. If we lose tomorrow, then they're going to hire an interim on. They're going to announce an interim on the next day, sign him on Tuesday, and then they're going to be in charge for the City game. I think that's how they're going to play. And it's just so stupid, dude. Like I don't know why they don't just go ahead and pick the interim and just announce it and get done with it, right? They could have just like. Anyway, I said I'm going to be positive, so I'm gonna sorry, I'm gonna look at the positives. From their point of view, at least it makes sense because they have no choice now, right? They had a volatile coach on their hands, which I don't know why they didn't know it earlier on. They had a volatile coach. They weren't getting along. For whatever reason, they chose to mismanage it the way they did. Now, once that is done, what is the next thing you can do? You can, like, I would have just given the job to Fletcher straight up. I would have just said that we're gonna. hire Fletcher to take care of the coach, take care of the position as a caretaker or whatever. Have him on till the end of the season, because this whole Ollie thing, right? It's just basically bought them time, and to their credit, it has actually worked off well also, because you see a lot of these big accounts, right? I think Sam on United People's TV also said that Ollie is a good signing, but till the end of the season. But I went back and checked the results, dude. Uh, Mourinho was fired, when Mourinho was fired, United were seventh on the table, I think, or sixth on the table, 17 points in 29 games. I remember that. And when Solskjaer came in, we ended the season on this in sixth position. So for a long time, we looked like we were going to be in fourth place, but then the season kind of just petered out, and I think we got one win in the last six games, and we lost out on Europe by like a couple of points. So it was a like Oli didn't even do the job he was supposed to do as an interim. If you're just looking at interim, like
Yeah.
if people are asked today, do you want Oli as a coach? They'll say 50% will say yes, maybe. That's what the all the big polls have said. If you do, and if you include another category saying yes, but only as an interim and a new coach in the summer, 40% more will say yes to that. So 90% of people are not opposed to Solskjaer coming back in as just the interim. So you could have just gone ahead and made that decision, right? That would have been a popular decision. Their worry is, what if it doesn't pay off? Everyone realizes he's a bad coach. Because let's face it, he is a bad coach. He went to Besiktas and he finished fourth. And they have a very good squad. They have NDD and like a few other good players with European pedigree. And he lost to freaking Lausanne in the Conference League playoffs, bro. Right, and more than anything, even if you want to say that, oh, but we had a crazy run, we dared to dream, all of whatever the comps are saying these days, just the fact that we've seen this movie again, it makes no sense. I think they really want to just carry on with Fletcher, and Fletcher will do himself and the rest of us also a favor by just winning the game tomorrow.
Rishi, can we talk about the FA Cup game? Because I want to hear, I want to discuss actually what we should be concerned about to begin with Brighton, right? Like, what are their biggest threats? Because I'm looking at this game, and let me just put it up on screen. Hold on. I'm looking at this game, and I think for me, they have very good progressive passing from their center backs and also from Pascal Gross, right? For me, I think if we can get Cunha to do a bit of a marking job on Gross, right, in possession, and worry less about De Kuiper, because De Kuiper he's very raw. He doesn't have a great first touch. He doesn't have a great pass in him. He's more of the energy guy in the team. So he'll keep making runs in behind. So it's a match made in heaven for Dallo, right? From what I described. Like, doesn't have a good touch, doesn't have a good pass, is an energy guy in the team. So let Dallo deal with De Kuiper by himself, and Matoma can be dealt with by Casemiro. I know that sounds crazy, but Casemiro's got enough experience to take that on by himself. So instead of having the right winger and the right back do the job of defending against Matoma and De Kuiper, we should have ideally maybe De Kuiper be taken on by Dallo and Casemiro helping out with Matoma as the second man, and have Cunha just come into midfield and really do a man marking job on Gross. And I'll tell you why that helps, because when Bruno comes off and Cunha goes through the middle, guess who's going to replace Bruno? It's going to be Mount. And Mount is going to do a great job on Gross as well. We need somebody on Gross to stop him from receiving the ball and dictating play, because he's the only guy, right? Everybody else, like Kadioglu, he's good on the ball, but he's more of a fullback playing at winger. Gomez, he's okay on the ball. He's not very quick, right? And Ruder, he's good with both feet, but he's not really fast, right? So the real threat is going to come from Pascal Gross and Van Hecke. So we need to keep those guys quiet. Now, we can't really go crazy pressing them in defense. So let Van Hecke do his thing, but stop the ball from going into gross. And Ayari, if you remember last game, had a really bad game against us. When we played them the 4-2
He
game,
did.
Ayari
Yeah.
was really bad. He was like giving away the
Yeah.
ball all the time. So he's another guy that I would love for us to pressure, and Dorgu can do that job. So I'm actually okay giving them space at wingback and trying to essentially do stuff in the first and the second, third down the wings, but put pressure on the two midfielders. The double pivot, if we put pressure on them, we'll have a lot of joy. And I hope Darren Fletcher has put the given them those instructions to do exactly that.
I'm just
Thoughts?
looking at the last. I'm just looking at the last 5 games, and there are two standout results I can see. They've beaten Burnley and they've drawn away to City. Now, if you remember, Brighton are historically a very good away team, and they kind of come up awake in the 70th minute onwards. In fact, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember correctly, when they played us, both their goals came after the 74th minute.
Yeah.
And at that point in the league, I think 58% of all their goals had come after the 70th minute.
Dude, Bristol City's beating Watford 5-1.
So I just I just have a feeling that tomorrow we need to like start strong, and then you need to have something on the bench as well. Can you pull up what our bench is like? What is our bench looking like?
Yeah. We have Deer. We have Maguire, Yoro, Malasia, Jack Fletcher, Kobe Mainu, Mason Mount, Joshua Xerxes, and Shea Lacey. Actually, it's a pretty good bench. We only have one injury now in Delict.
Is Maguire back?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you have some defensive cover. Maybe you can put on a third center back
I think
to
there's a
see how
chance that Maguire starts actually next. Maybe they give Martinez a rest. There's a good chance Maguire starts because Martinez has pretty much been playing all the minutes since he's come back from his injury.
Right.
The last thing we need is I would rather us go out of the FA Cup in the third round than have Martinez get injured again.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The last game was 2 days back, 7th,
Yes. Rishi, 1 second. I
7th,
need to
and
go check on something. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
yeah, yeah. So I just guys I'm just gonna go through some of the comments here. Blue Fox says for us to win, we need to score 3 goals. Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, we scored 3 goals and still conceded two to Brighton in the the last time we played them. Ed says Danny Welbs will come in and bang one in. Yeah, I mean that's like on the cards, right? Where the F is Delict? Is he out for the season? So I believe the last game Delict played was against Spurs. Was it? Did he play against Everton? He's been out for a couple of months, and apparently he's back in middle of January. So I guess he might start on grass training in a week or so, and then he'll be available from, I think, post City is when he'll like be back in full contact training. Uh, yeah, yeah, I think Maguire starts. Neptune Ash says I think Maguire starts. I would say Martinez's legs in case of extra time. I trust him more on pens. Yeah, the pen strategy is something that the coach has to think of, and it's an interesting challenge, right? Because I don't know how often Fletcher, as a coach, has come across pens, uh, penalty shootout situations, and that's something that you need to plan for. And I don't even know, like, I think Johnny Evans is one of the assistants. I don't know who else is assisting him in the dugout. One of them should have this eventuality covered. Like, what if we go into pens? I think being a knockout, he'll have this in mind. I don't know how he'll strategize. Probably like one idea might be to just discuss that with the main players. Like at United, you have Bruno, who's obviously the prime penalty taker, and you have Cunha and you have Mbumo, like all the seniors. Mount, Maguire is really good at penalties, so you just get them together and kind of leave it up to them. Draft your penalty strategy, and let's take it from there. Okay, what else? What else? What else? Uh, Okay. Can you switch Martinez out for Euro and swap Aiden? Okay, I think you mean in the lineup. So Rafael says Baleba hat trick, as in he's. I mean, not in the AFCON, they're out, and I don't think he's playing tomorrow. I mean, if uh, if I think Mbumo's playing, then obviously Baleba has a shot too, and he might want to come back. He might want to like give a bit of an audition again because he messed up the audition the last time he played us. Tiny Task Force says we will lose this game. I don't know, dude. Like, can you just expand a bit on that? Why do you think we'll lose this game? Maybe just give your reasons for that because I think we have a good chance. Dart says, is Frank getting sacked? Uh, what are Thomas Frank's last results? What are Spurs looking like? Uh, oh, damn. Losing 2-1 to Aston Villa. Damn, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets sacked because 21 points, 21 games, and he's on what? After 20, he's on 27 points, dude. 5 points in the Prem in the last 5 games. That is sackable form. That is sackable form. And he's also out of the cup. I think they might just hold on to him because he's got Europe to hang on to. I guess what's their position in the in Europe? Okay, Spurs are 11th, 11 points from 6 games, so they have 2 more games to go, and they need to finish, I believe, in the top 24 spots. I think Thomas Frank's Tottenham future hinges on Europe because you saw how Postecoglou kept his job despite performing pathetically. At least this dude is doing better than Postecoglou. I think Ange finished with 38 points, I think 39 points, and he's on 27. So I think he'll at least get to like 50 points by the end of the season. And if he manages to get go deep in Europe, I think he might just keep his job till the end of the season. Uh, okay. Neptune Ash says I would go Bruno. Acha, I think Neptune Ash is
Dude,
a little bit
Semenyo scored
behind me.
today for City.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, dude, they operate so quickly, dude. Like I didn't. I just heard that Jamie Carragher thing saying that the medical might not be on, and then today I see that
Wasn't it Redknapp?
Semenyo's playing.
Wasn't it Jamie
Red
Redknapp?
Redknapp, yeah, whichever bland white dude who is on the the broadcasting. Yeah, Jamie Redknapp.
Blue
Yeah.
Fox says Ahmad is coming back.
No, dude. Ivory Coast. Oh, is the match on right now?
Yeah. 2-0.
Oh, damn, dude. Damn. Egypt with 25% possession is leading 2-0. Marmoush scored and someone called Rami Rabia.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the game on right now. I mean, this is like, okay. I would never wish any international team to lose, but I'd be down to have both Ahmad and Mbuma back. Mazraoui can go win it. He's the one I want back the least out of the three.
Yeah, dude. But Ahmad, like, he was becoming a serious player, and in fact, this is an interesting position for the team because Egypt is absolutely playing like, parking the bus. So it's interesting for me to see how Ivory Coast counters this. I hope Ahmad has a good game, even if they lose, because he's going to try his best. Ahmad never gives up. Remember the Southampton game, bro, last season where I think we were tied 1-all, and Ahmad just basically scored a hat trick and won us the game on his own, right? Neptune's Ash says, I'm interested to see how Fletcher sets up in the first half, given that Brighton dominate possession. He could go for a back four to pass the bus, but progression only worked with Amorim's system. I agree with most of what you said. I think there is a case to be made for progression because if we can win the ball back quickly, right? I think Ugarte and Bruno are going to have sort of a free role to go and just try and press them and win the ball back. Uh, it's going to be like a compact mid block. That's what I believe. But Brighton also set up in a mid block most of the times. So I won't be surprised if it's like, transitions and transitions, transition upon transition, attacks failing all the time because the defense is doing its job. It's going to be like uh, it's going to be a sticky game, I feel. Blue Fox asked, where does Ahmad play in our team? Good question, Andy. I wanted to ask you because once we reduced one player from the attack, uh, because we are basically accommodating a midfielder now. How do you see the attack lining up? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry. So for me, I think Ahmad comes back. There's actually a good chance that Ahmad plays in the 10.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I think Mbeumo works well off the left or the right, or as a striker. He doesn't really feel to me like a number 10. Egypt have another chance here. Ooh. Doesn't really feel like a number 10 to me. Whereas Ahmad has that low center of gravity and like ability to turn. Eagly says someone's mic is cracked, hearing popping sounds.
Is that a problem everyone else is facing? Because
I think it's your mic.
My mic.
Yeah. What are you using as your device?
My phone.
Yeah, I think I just heard it. I was listening to it on the other side. I don't actually hear it anymore, so I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, let's keep going. What were we saying? Yeah, so Ahmad at the 10 makes sense to me because he has that low center of gravity, and I don't know how good he is in terms of finding the pass, which we need him to do, but I think he could work there. And Cunha for me is not really a traditional number 10, right? He's kind of just like an attacking midfielder who can drive past people, who can pull people out of position. Raphael says Rishi sounds bad. Do you have headphones to connect?
I can't find them, dude. Is it better now?
The lighting seems to be different.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're gonna have to forgive me. I kind of I had zero intention of popping on, but I just
no, it's fine. It's fine. We can just continue. I can hear you properly within StreamYard, so I don't know where the issue is.
Yeah, I tried to like bring some more light on my face.
I think it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Anyways, where do you think Ahmad plays?
I think he plays right wing because he's the most informed player. And if Fletcher is a guy who's a new coach, he has to follow the basics. I'm pretty sure when he went to touch Sir Alex's feet and Sir Alex, gave him that Raj Tilak to bless him.
Yeah.
Sir Alex would have told him just keep things simple. And part of keeping things simple is whichever player is in form, you play him in his best position. You don't mess around with that. So I think Ahmad has to play in the right wing. He has to because Mbeumo hasn't had the best AFCON and he wasn't in the hottest of streaks even before he left. Cunha isn't doing the greatest, right? So I think Cunha could be on the bench.
I can hear it now. It sounds like when Ernest usually joins in, we hear the frog sound type of thing. It's probably because your phone is a little too far away from you and it's trying to pick up extra sound.
Should I bring it closer?
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah. Let's give Rishi a dental exam together, guys. Let's get up close and personal. I think it should be better, but that's my guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just have a feeling that Ahmad's going to play on the right wing. You might see Cunha playing left wing, and Mbeumo might be kind of given a rest. Mount is back, right? So you might see Cunha left wing and Mount right wing. Maybe Mount can play there tomorrow. So yeah, I think, but Ahmad absolutely can't play in the 10. We've seen him a lot of times. Every time he's played there, he's played poorly. Last season, he had 8 goals and 8 assists, or 9 goals and 8 assists in the
8 goals and 8 assists
in the league from 26 games, and he didn't complete 26 90s. So if you see the per 90 ratio, it's off the charts. He had a lot of contributions in the Europa League as well. I think he had 11 goals and 10 assists in total. And that's an absolutely brilliant haul. All of them from right wing back. And of course, in this system, it would have to be right wing in the 4-2-3-1. So, yeah, I think Ahmad plays in the right wing. I'm more worried about Cunha actually, because I think Mbumo can absolutely do a job on the left wing because he can cross quite well and he has a good finish with his right foot also. You saw against Liverpool that was a right footed finish, right? So I think he has that right foot. I'm not sure if he can curl it in off that right foot, which is like the left winger's bread and butter. But Mbumo does a job on the left. I think Bruno has to play, obviously. So it's Cunha that I'm worried about most because he's the one who's underperformed so far, and I don't see where the opportunities are coming from. Uh, Maybe if we don't have enough games as well, right? I also think that this whole Kobe situation isn't um, as simple as most people like to think that Amirim's gone, so Kobe's gonna get a lot of games. Because dude, you have to remember he's coming off of a layoff, an injury layoff, and he kind of has a you know he has some time to go before he can acclimatize. You saw that really bad pass that he made, right, when Sheshko was through on goal. The ball didn't even reach Sheshko.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that he's going to start with Ugarte and Casemiro consistently because they offer defensive solidity. They offer
Ivory Coast just
protection to
scored, by
the.
the way. It's 2-1.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Who scored?
Own goal.
Okay, okay. Interesting. So, yeah, Andy, I'm excited for the game. What time is the kickoff for you?
The kickoff for me, let me just check. I think it's 11:30. Yeah, 11:30 a.m. So it's a 10 p.m. kickoff for you, right?
Yeah, yeah, 10 p.m. kickoff for me. Not too bad. Not too bad. That's a decent time. 10 p.m. is good. So, and it's a home game, right? Again, Old Trafford.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
So
why people are worried, dude. I think we're winning this easily. I think we're going to be surprised. And I think these people want to hire Fletcher. That's the biggest indicator for me. We win tomorrow. They announce it the day after that Fletcher is taking care till the end of season. And they say that any appointment on the permanent head coach will be taken in the summer. So yeah, that's where we are at. And regarding the matches going ahead, I think City will be an interesting game. Arsenal, I'm not too sure about. Depends upon where Arsenal are because they have also been like finding it difficult to outright beat teams, right? Because they're not as dominant as the table says or the table indicates. They're not as dominant as you think they are. And honestly speaking, like if you go through the entire Premier League
they
table,
also seem to be going into games a little bit scared, right? They feel like oh, could this be the opportunity that we miss, right? Whereas
I'm not sure I
City
agree.
even
I'm not
being
sure I agree with you.
even though City are second, no, not scared about losing, scared about not winning, and scared about like missing out on this golden opportunity to win the league because City are going to be stronger next year again. Liverpool are going to be stronger next year again. They have all these like because whenever I see a City team or the narrative before they go into a game, there's no fear, right? They're just like, okay, we'll go do our best, and we'll play Kusanov and whatever. They played some two random random ass center backs in their game, and if imagine Arteta had Saliba and Gabriel out, and they had to play two kids, like the world would be melting down. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the being scared or being worried about what the situation might be. So that's what I'm trying to get at. I think it's a case of
The
Arsenal,
weight of expectations.
yeah, weight of expectations getting to Arsenal, whereas I don't see that with City.
Yeah, but Andy, that's where I kind of disagree because at least when the game started, right, I saw like 40 minutes of the Liverpool Arsenal game. I thought Arsenal were up for it. I thought they were the dominant team. Liverpool came there. wanting to be more defensive and kind of be on the back foot, right? Be more compact. I think it was a very physical game, and nowadays, if it's a physical game, right, I see Arsenal coming out on top. I think that's one of the biggest credits to Arteta that he's uh, assembled these physical behemoths, right? And he's got that profile of the player bang on. Like he wants someone who's very good on the ball, but is very physical on the tackle. And you see the way these people throw themselves in a one v one, dude. Like the way they throw themselves in a duel. My God, like Hincapie is a beast, dude. Like he's a mad dog. I would absolutely have a character like that. Like if Kyle Walker had stamped on Hincapie's foot, Hincapie would have like pulled out a dagger or some shit, bro. I'm not even joking. Like the footballing equivalent of that. Obviously, I don't mean to imply he's carrying out a dagger. Uh,
Hmm.
but he would have flipped his lid, and then there would have been like crazy scenes, and probably both of them would have got sent off. But that little bitch Kyle Walker would have had what's coming to him. Uh, so I don't know how these things don't get rechecked by VAR, dude. Like that is violent conduct if I ever saw it. How was that not seen by VAR? Was it because it was British on Danish? Is that the reason?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's an interesting point, but
Do they adjudicate in the favor of the guy who has more wives? Because Walker's winning that sort of that decision he wins every day of the week.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm not really sure to be honest. It's hard to tell why we're not getting these decisions. And personally, like Patrick Dorgu probably needs to make more of a fuss about it. If he just stays down and does, a little bit of the Brazilian, South American, like,
Yeah, yeah. Invoke the
acting.
spirit of Busquets.
Yeah, yeah. If he just rides in pain a little bit, or forces them to stop the game because he's injured, then the
Yeah,
VAR is like, you know what? The popcorn's over. Our drink is empty. Might as well do some work.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so what your score prediction for tomorrow, Rishi?
I think it'll be a repeat of the 4-2. I might be optimistic, but I think we have goals in our team. And I'm going to put a tenner on Sheshko scoring again. I think he's just about to hit a hot streak. Like, and by hot streak, I mean 8 games, 10 goals kind of a hot streak, like a real hot streak. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's going to bypass. I think he's going to bypass 15 goals very soon. 15 goals in the league, and if he
Yeah.
has 15 league goals in his first season, which he's never had, dude, that's. I mean, that's like I don't know which other striker in his first season has scored 15 goals. I think Igor
Well, so
Thiago,
Ed
obviously.
Ed said Ed said 15 goals as well in his that he'll get 15 in the Premier League. I said 10 goals confidently. Here's the thing, right? We're basing all of this off of him scoring 2 goals against Burnley. Now, if he goes and gets 1 goal each against City and Arsenal, yeah, I'm with you there, right? Because he scored against two big teams against okay, City don't have their center backs yet, but at least Arsenal has two of the best center backs in the league, right? So we're talking about a
Yeah,
completely different situation at that point. But to be fair, like he doesn't need to score against City and Arsenal to get 15 in the league. He already has four
yeah,
goals. He needs 10, 11 more, which means even a single game with a hat trick makes a huge difference to that because then he only needs
absolutely.
8 in 18 or 8 in 17, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, uh, Ed, we didn't laugh you at the gaff. I just thought it's very optimistic. It still is very optimistic. It's not. We've only seen one game of him scoring 2 goals, and we can't. Based on that, he's going to get 36 in the season, right? Because we have 17, 18 games left. So yeah, we'll have to see more of evidence. And it's nobody said we can't change our mind. Like if he's going to be on 14 goals with 4 games left to go, nobody's going to be like, "What do you mean 15 goals?" So obviously there's a chance that that it can happen. Raphael is here. Raphael, how you doing?
I'm good. Just give me a minute. I'm going to put the camera on.
Okay, sounds good.
So, Andy, I have a question for you. Now that Amarim's left, who are the players you think that are going to perform well? And I don't mean that
You mean better or
players.
just well in
No,
general?
no, I don't mean players that were not favorites of Amarim. I just mean in general. Who are the players? What I'm getting at is what style of play do you think we're going to employ? Based on that style of play, who are the players you think are going to do well? And of course, leave out the usual suspects like Bruno and Lomens, because Lomens is a good keeper. He's a good shot stopper. He's going to do well. Someone like Bruno is obviously he's performed well in under every manager, so he's out. So who are the few players? And feel free to give me like random answers, like you think a centre back is going to do really well, because that's the kind of in-depth analysis that I expect from Andy, from Footy with an Edge.
Yeah. So for me, I think so. I think maybe it helps to look at players that were doing well under Amarim that are still going to do well, and then players that maybe weren't doing so well that will do well, right? Because that's a good way to qualify the points, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, I think Heaven and Martinez were doing well under Amram. I think they'll continue to do well back four or back three. I think Luke Shaw did well under Amram as left center back. I don't think he's going to be looking worse as a left back in terms of what is required from him. And we saw some of that last game. That dink ball over the top that Mount played to Shaw,
Yeah, yeah,
and he
yeah.
wasn't able to get to it.
Yeah, but did you see that whole play though? Did you see that whole play? That
What?
whole movement from Shaw, from the moment the ball released from Mount's foot, Shaw hesitated for like a millisecond. He hesitated mid run, and that's the reason he couldn't get to it fully. So I don't know whether it's because he's lost that practice because he's
No.
played
The
at left
Rishi,
centre
the
back,
point is,
or
so the game of football on the pitch is all about milliseconds here and there, right? But certain players can still make it up. Dorgu, with the hesitation, even a longer hesitation, still gets to that. Whereas
yeah,
Luke Shaw doesn't have the legs anymore. That's the point, right? Because every time you have like 100 decisions to make a minute when you're playing football, right? Like which way do I move my body? How do I receive the ball? Which weight do I play the pass with? All these things that are on your mind. But if you are younger, have more legs in you, you can correct for some of the mistakes you're making, right? That's why it's super scary to see a young player be really high quality at a young age, because then you're like, wow, this guy can really be like Yamal. As good as he is now, he probably won't be better when he's 31, right? Because he's
Mhm.
lost some of that speed, some of that ability to make up for some of his mistakes, etc. Um, whereas he might still be very good at 26, like better than where he is now, right? So
Yeah.
Shaw at 30, 31 is going to make these mistakes that he won't otherwise make. Let's get Rafael in, guys. I'm thinking of closing the show a little bit early today, maybe just an hour in. So we'll finish the last 10 minutes here with Rafael. But so those are my shouts, right? The center backs I think are going to do the same as they did under Amarim. I think Dallo could benefit a little bit, in my opinion, from being at right back, just because. Actually, I don't know. I think Dallo's going to be worse too. Dallo and Shaw are both going to be worse because Dallo's best skill set we saw under Amarim was actually going forward, and he was bad defensively. And Dorgu was good defensively, bad going forward, which is the opposite of what I would have thought. Or actually, I would have thought Dorgu was bad at both, but he's really good defensively. And Dallo, because of his age and his experience, I would have thought was better defensively, but he's not good at that either. So I think that's my defensive shot. In terms of the midfield, I think Bruno. There's no point talking about Bruno. Bruno looks great in any system. You put him anywhere, he's going to play well. I think Mbumo and Cunha are potentially going to suffer a little bit, in my opinion. Ed's here. Ed, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. So I think Mbumo and Cunha might suffer a little bit if he keeps going with the idea of like playing the strong footer on the strong side, because then they're basically there for the assists and the creativity more than the goal scoring. And I think for what's it called? in terms of the midfielders, obviously Kobe will be better because he plays, right? Whereas he wasn't playing it under. We got a full house. We got the second I said 10 minutes, we're closing the show. Everybody just hops on. I love it. Yeah, and so what was I saying? So yeah, I think that's my shout. And in terms of Casemiro and Ugarte, I think they're going to look a little bit better because they don't have as much of the ground to cover by themselves in the midfield as a 2, whereas in a 3 they get a little bit more protected. So those are my thoughts. I think the fullbacks are going to look a little bit worse. The midfielders are going to look a little bit better, and potentially the wingers are going to look a little bit worse.
Can I touch
and
on
Chesko will look a lot better.
Can I touch on what you guys were talking about a little bit?
Sure.
For me, I know Luke Shaw didn't do well on that touch, and the same thing with Bruno when he went, but we're making those passes now, which is like a really big positive, right? We're finding those gaps. We're seeing the game much better. And I think that's the positivity we need to take from it, because a different player in Luke Shaw's position brings that down and scores it, right? So the fact that they're even making those passes is what I think we should really concentrate on, not the lack of Luke Shaw's legs and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think the last 2 goals we conceded were also because of the midfield. So we say the midfielders will look better. They won't. They don't cover enough ground. And when they do cover enough ground, when we get the ball back, when it's Ugarte, he doesn't make the right pass like 80% of the time.
We're making a relative statement, right, Ed? We're talking about how they looked under Amram versus what they're going to look like now. That was my only point.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to bail them out with the formation at the end of the day.
But Andy?
Yeah, go for it, Rafael.
I mean, one of the sort of dilemmas or questions in my mind at the moment is that we seem to have a team with if we were to include all our best players, as I understand them, 3-4-3 actually works better. I mean, how are we going to fit in how are we going to fit in Mount, who's arguably been a pivotal player? How are we going to fit in Cunha, as you said, and Ahmad was arguably one of our best players. Of course, Bruno has to play.
Rafael, if I may, I don't even think there's any merit to discuss this point, because we already know that Sir Jim is not only a tactician with the petrochemicals, he's also a tactician on the football pitch. He wants us to play a 4 at the back. So there's no point discussing this, because this is what we talked about when Amram was here, right? That 3-4-3 gets our best players in, and we were essentially worried about losing out one of Cunha or Ahmad because we're trying to fit Mainu into the team in a 4 at the back, because Mainu doesn't work in a 3 at the back. So they're not going to play the 3 at the back at all.
No.
I agree with you. I think that's a non-argument.
Andy, I'm not expecting them to play, and I completely agree. But I just think it's a kind of cruel irony, if you like.
No, Rafael. In fact, I'll get to the root of the issue. The issue is not that it's a back 3 versus a back 4. The reason we could accommodate all our best players in attack is because Bruno played in the midfield.
Yeah.
That's how we could attack that extra attacker. That's how we could accommodate that extra attacker. It wasn't back 3 versus back 4. You could have still played that 3-4-3 with Bruno in one of the 10s and Kobe and Casemiro in the midfield. But we didn't do that. We chose to have attacking verve, and we accommodated Bruno in the midfield. That's the reason we could play them. And now, unless you think, if Fletcher thinks that Bruno can do a job in a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1, which, by the way, he did in his first ever United game, United versus Wolves. That was a 0-0 draw, and Bruno looked like the best player with 2 days of training with United. So it all depends upon how Fletcher is.
Can I just jump in here?
I wasn't suggesting he was going to do that. I just thought it was a kind of cruel irony of this time that probably we were moving towards a 3-4-3 where the best players were there.
But we had one of the worst first halves.
We're moving on, obviously. But
we had one of the worst first halves, and we still had 30 shots in the game, in a Premier League game against a Premier League side that primarily plays defensively. I don't know how people aren't seeing that. We still had a lot of shots.
Yeah, Ed,
Yeah,
but like,
but that is another. But that
go
is another
deeper with your
problem,
point there.
Ed.
No,
That's another
hold
problem.
on.
We're not.
Let's hear from Semix, Rafael. Go ahead, Semix.
Sure,
Ed,
sure.
go a little bit deeper with your point. Like, why did you bring that up? And I'm not challenging you. Like, I actually want you to. I think you're on the right track. Like, I'm asking you to go deeper instead of me taking over because you're on the right track. So go deeper with that point.
Yeah, so if we're looking at it from a purely numbers perspective, if Sheshko has a better game there, he scores 4, we win the game. We left it. Our team is good enough to play against. I don't think Burnley are like they're terrible at attacking, but defensively they're sound. It's Burnley, right? And to the fact that we got 30 shots after that horrific first half of no football is like my takeaway from like just let them play. The players will eventually click together, and it's not gonna be that bad how people are thinking. You know
why
what?
do they want?
Ruben
Why do they
leaving?
want to get out of the 3-4-3 and into the 4-back system? What did you see in the Burnley game that made you go, "Oh, that's what they were talking about"? Like that's what Jason Wilcox and.
Oh no, I don't agree with them. I'm just saying, figuratively speaking, I don't agree with switching formation or doing any of that. I'm just saying it's not as bad as people are putting it, like talking about these formations. Do not talk about the formations anymore, in my opinion.
For
And
me,
I have just a piece of detail to add to this discussion here. In the Burnley game, we took 9 shots from outside the box. That contributed almost nothing to our XG because obviously long shots, very low XG shots, right? Under Ruben Amorim, most games we didn't have 30% shots from outside the box, right? This is something that we've been talking about. In fact, we added like 50% subscribers on this channel after I talked about it in the Athletic video, right? So this is kind of what our basis has been since Amorim has been here. My point is you can't say we took 30 shots in that game. We actually took 23, 24 shots if you're talking about the Ruben Amorim shots.
But is it fair?
Right?
Is it fair to say that that's still on par with Ruben Amorim?
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying.
So how many shots was a Ruben Amorim team averaging?
Yeah, let me pull up
the last time we played against Burnley. And we played them at home last time, right?
Yeah, let me pull
them better.
But
and then while you're doing that, I'll talk a little bit about what I think the formation adds. It accommodates, and this isn't rocket science. It accommodates the Casemiro playing alongside Ugarte and still keeping Bruno on the pitch. And that by itself does add a little bit bite to our midfield, only because we don't have a Baleba type or somebody who could do both their jobs in one pair of legs. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we need both pair of legs to do that job. Whereas like a Baleba type will do 1.5 times what Casemiro or Ugarte can do, which is good enough cover in the midfield. And that's really the only reason. Like, if we didn't have Casemiro Ugarte and we had Baleba instead, we wouldn't need to have this conversation.
But
exactly.
there's a point,
and you know what else it does?
that Ed has made about the 30 shots. I think this is a big issue. We've been talking about we've got this fantastic XG. We're unlucky. We hit the post. But there's a point where you can say, well, why aren't we getting it over that line? We're still not getting it over the line.
That's up to the players.
Right? Like,
if I just come back to it, so the answer to your question, Rafael, is that we have the same problem now that we did under Ruben Amorim, which is we don't finish our chances, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that part we can file as fact that we can all agree on. Here's the point I'm trying to get at, right? Last time we played against Burnley, the 3-2 game where we won with the 97th minute penalty.
Yeah.
We had 26 shots. Ed, do you have a rough idea of how much XG we would have created in that game? Any idea?
3.6.
3 point something.
We created 3.63 XG from 26 shots, whereas under Fletcher with the 4-2-3-1, we had 30 shots and 2.55 XG. So on a per shot XG perspective, we were not creating good chances.
But then I could bring in to the conversation. We just started playing this now.
No, I'm just trying to clear something up, because I think there's an overcorrection from like, oh, let's just move on from the Amorim talk and let's just look, be positive about everything that's happening. I'm trying to be positive, but it's also okay to compare something to what it was before.
No,
Right?
Yeah,
You can't
Andy,
okay.
Andy,
just not bring
Andy,
up
Andy,
Ruben
hold,
Amorim. Yeah.
Andy, 1 second, 1 second. Two more key pieces of information in that game. We had a last minute penalty that contributes zero point 0.8. So it's actually 2.8 XG non penalty versus whatever we got 2.6 in the previous game. And the second thing being that our XGA was also worse off in the first game. It was, I think, one whole goal difference was there in the XGA between we conceded fewer chances in yesterday's game versus the one under Amarim.
yeah,
So we were more compact, obviously, and I think Burnley, just as a team, they were worse. So that is also mitigating circumstance. So it's like very nuanced, right? You can't just sit here, throw one stat on Twitter and say that, see, you all are fools. This is what I've been talking about. It's a very nuanced way to analyze the game.
100%.
No,
I
Rishi,
agree with
my
it.
point is though the only point I'm trying to make is that when we watch that game, forget about the stats, forget about the big chances, forget about everything else. What I saw happening in the game, the second game against Burnley, was we were looking clueless a lot of times on the ball, and this wasn't just in the first half; it was in the second half as well. And just because I'm bringing that up, it doesn't mean it's all doom and gloom, guys. I'm allowed to say, add the part of analysis where I'm discussing that I am concerned about how we're going to create repeatable chances. That's the only point I'm trying to make. It's
Yes,
not doom and
yes.
gloom. It's not
That's
criticizing
I
the 4
agree. I
1.
agree.
that's
Just
fair
saying that
enough.
that's what I'm
100%.
concerned about. Yeah.
But we can all agree that the sacking of Ruben Amorim has set us back at least 3 years.
I don't know about 3 years. That really
I think
depends on
hiring him, the whole Ruben Amorim period has set us back a couple of years in some ways, but it's also taken us forward in other ways because he's gone through the shit that we needed to go through, I believe.
But you know what a positive is though that I think?
Ah.
Playing Bruno in that 10 in the 4-2-3-1 gives him like 3 years of playing time extra
Yeah,
where he's not
I
doing all
agree.
that work.
I don't think anybody wants to sell Bruno anymore.
No, we can't afford to
No,
sell
but I
Bruno.
think he's going. I think he's
And
gone. They are all about reducing the salary.
Andy,
I don't
he
think he's
might
done.
have taken us through 2 years of shit, but we're still going to go through the shit as fans.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, for me, the only thing, right, even with the 4-2-3-1, and guys, as we go through more games, Ed is right. We've only seen one game of the 4-2-3-1, so nobody's here to be like, signed, sealed, delivered. Like I'm done with this. Like I'm still stuck in the Ruben Amorim era. That's not what I'm here to say. What I'm saying is we have seen the 4-2-3-1 before under other managers, and we have seen some of these same players play in those systems and look a little confused about how they can create chances where they're supposed to be. And sure, that could take 7 games, 10 games for Darren Fletcher to imprint his identity, the movement that he's expecting from the players. Because yes, he hasn't coached a top level team before, but he has coached a team before, right? Under 18s are still 11 players on the pitch against another 11 players, and he's trying to problem solve all those things. So I'm just saying, like tomorrow, we could see a situation where we're looking clueless again, and it's not just for 20 minutes this time; it's for 60 minutes in the game, and that still doesn't mean we lose because we could have moments of individual brilliance that carry us over the top, and that's the only hope that I have. Because looking from afar, not knowing much about Fletcher or how he coaches the teams, I actually think this is a case of individual brilliance carrying us over the line this season. And if that happens, I pray that happens. We could actually get top 4.
But that's the beauty of the sport, right? That's
Yeah.
why we watch. But I also want to bring up another fact that Rishu was talking about earlier with the referees. The referees have been consistently bad for every team. The refereeing, they're letting the game go on a lot longer. They're letting the players play, but the refereeing has been bad throughout the whole league. So we can't play victim to the rep card, and no team can because it's been bad for everybody.
It has been more bad for us though. Like I'm not saying by a big margin. It has been more bad for us. We've had specific what's it called, decisions go against us this year that we don't normally have go against us. That's the only point I'm trying to make. And every year it's not like they're picking out United and saying let's just be bad in United games. I think every year a different team kind of becomes the team that gets bad results going against them. What was that year when there was a Tottenham Liverpool game? Rishi,
you're muted.
I think Ed's right. We can't like go around analyzing ref decisions and like say that one team is being treated unfairly. In general, like under Sir Alex, we were supposed to be favored a lot by the refs, and I did see it happening. Like we did get a lot of 50-50s go our way.
Howard Webb.
Yeah. So we got a lot of 50-50s going our way. Now it's Liverpool's turn to get the luck their way. And I think just as fans, right, we can't go around saying that our team is lucky or the other team is lucky. As a united front, as fans of the Premier League, as fans of football, we all have to say that the refereeing is bad. Only when we universally come onto one side will these people start doing something about the damn PGMOL, because it's one of the most
Mhm.
corrupt organizations in football in a world where goddamn FIFA exists, guys. The PGMOL is more corrupt than FIFA, and FIFA is corrupt in the way that they accept bribes and look the other way and enable totalitarian governments to thrive in this country and use football to whitewash their image. And I am not saying PGMOL takes money; they're corrupt in the way that they hide each other's ineptitude. And one would say that's even worse because you can't really, catch any of them for that.
Yeah.
So all of us have to be up in arms regarding this
Every
whole
team does,
speed of
because
refereeing thing.
Andy, the way you feel, every other main supporter of every other team feels the same way. It's just a bad refereeing. It's all it is for everybody across the league.
No, I agree. And to make my point clear, I wasn't saying we should do something about it or we should bitch and moan about it. I just have noticed more decisions that have impacted us. Like the same day when Lyle Foster against Burnley, remember how at the last minute he was like causing antics and he got booked by the ref. The ref, he took off like maybe 2 minutes by doing that nonsense, or a minute and a half, and the ref blew at 95. And the same day Newcastle Leeds, they had 7 minutes added on. They played till the 12th minute, and that's when Newcastle scored their fourth goal.
So you could say both decisions are terrible in both
I
games.
agree. I agree. I'm just saying, but one decision worked in favor of one team to go win the game, and that's the kind of point I'm making. I
But
agree with
imagine
you.
if they would have lost that game in the 12th minute, then you
that
could
would have
say
been
they got screwed.
in favor of Leeds, though, right?
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying.
you can say that two Yorkshire-based teams got screwed. Leeds got screwed, and we got screwed. So
Yeah.
there's
I
always
just
a
think
team
we need
that's on the
to-
receiving end of that.
Even when you play the game, whenever you argue with the ref, it does no good ever.
Yeah.
So I learned a long time ago, don't even talk to the ref, just let him do his job. If he's going to do it good, that's great. If he's going to do it bad, there's nothing you can do about it. Because the more you argue, the less he's going to try and give you a call at the end of the day. That's why I don't get all these skirmishes and all this with the refs. Is like, why are we doing this? Just let the captain talk to the ref. That's it. Nobody else talks to the ref. Just let the captain talk to the ref.
Can I
Shaylin?
ask what? Can I ask how much you think fatigue will play a factor? It's the first time we've played so many games.
A lot less
I mean,
now
particularly-
in the 4-2-3-1.
Huh?
A lot less now in the 4-2-3-1.
Egypt just scored their third goal, by the way. Salah.
See ya, Rishi.
Oh, see you. Bye. Egypt just scored. They're up 3-1 against Ivory
Particularly
Coast.
Luke Shaw, I was wondering about.
Luke Shaw is just he's old, man. 31, right?
Yeah, something like
And his after that leg break, he's never been the same. But he's still a player, in my opinion. He does not have the legs. He tries very hard every game, and I think he's gassed in the 70th minute in every game. That's why he's been playing center back. He can't really play wing back anymore.
But
'Cause
that's
that
my
requires
worry
a
for him.
lot.
That's my worry for him against Brighton. If he gets gassed, sometimes he watches the ball a bit too much, and that's where we let in a goal.
But here's the good thing that's also going to come from this is you guys say, oh, where's Cunha going to play? Where's Ahmad? We have players now that we could bring on later on.
Yes.
We have options. We have things that are in our favor as well. If somebody's not performing, you can actually bench them now. If Sesko doesn't perform, you could bench him for Mbumo or Cunha up top.
Mm.
And Dorgu's going to go to left back. You won't have to worry about Shaw. Shaw's going to come in and do some
Who do you
cleanup
think
work.
is the most likely to go to the bench, though, from the starting 11?
Right now, in current form, Cunha.
Do you think they'll actually do it, though?
No, they won't let him bench somebody they just bought for 70 million.
Also, he's older than Ahmad, right? So the senior player
Correct.
thing.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, you're right. We do have a better squad.
Correct.
Players that can come on off. We actually have impact players.
Because you could still
that we
move
haven't-
Bruno back. You could still move Bruno back and put Mount into 10. You could put Xerxes into 10. You could even put Mount back there. I think Mount will do a job in the 6-8 hybrid role. I think he still does it. If you bring him in the 70th minute and only let him play 20 minutes, he could give you 100% those 20 minutes.
Hey, Semix, what do you think? What do you think the threats are against Brighton tomorrow?
Our threats or their threats?
Their threats to us.
Our midfield is always what I'm thinking about because now that we've switched formations, we have a little bit more double coverage out wide. So it's just the center. Like if we can cover the center, but them without a kicking Baleba is, I don't know. I'm not as scared as I used to be last year.
Well, I don't think he's gonna play,
No,
right?
He's not going to play.
there's
That's
no
what I
way any
mean,
of
though.
these
Them
guys-
without that option, even if he played, them without him being at his top form, I'm just not that scared of their center that much. But our center is the weakest part of our game, and it will be until we recruit.
Yeah.
It's
I think
like
it's, I think-
is Ugarte going to have one of his good games or his bad games?
We don't
Who?
know. He's rolling
Ugarte.
the dice tomorrow morning to see how
Sorry,
he's gonna
who?
play.
Ugarte.
It's the same for United.
Oh, Garte, yeah. So for me, when I
As a
looked at the
whole.
Brighton team, for me the biggest threats are Van Hecke, their center back, in terms of ball progression, and Pascal Gross, who they just brought back from Brighton, from Dortmund, to play with them. So I think if we can get Cunha, whoever plays on the right hand side, to like basically man mark Pascal Gross, I think we have a much better midfield because they have that Ayari kid who was really bad against us when he played at Old Trafford, in the first game. So I don't expect much from him either. So basically put pressure on the two pivots to stop Van Hecke from passing into the midfield, and I think we should be good.
It's gonna be Matoma and Rudder. Rudder's gonna run our defense like he's.
But
so
if the
good at
ball
with
doesn't
the
get
ball.
to those guys, like how much can they do, right? That was kind of the point I was getting at. But I agree with you. Like Ruder is a very smart player. He's also 2-footed, and Matoma obviously with his dribbling.
Do you see it? Is because you guys have now convinced me that we're not going to play the kids, that we're actually going to go for this FA Cup thing. Do you guys see it being like a goal fest or a snooze fest?
3-2 Brighton.
Raphael is just full of hope.
Danny Welbeck coming in and scoring the winner. Raphael.
Bro, this team has broken
Wouldn't that be a
Raphael's
fairy
the happiest
tale?
guy.
Wouldn't that be a black fairy tale? Danny Welbeck coming and scoring.
He's done it.
In the
He's done it plenty
96th
of times
minute.
for them.
Huh?
I think he's the
think,
best super sub in the league.
Yeah.
No,
I think if that happens, Raphael's hair
it's a
goes
wry
black and not
smile.
blue.
I think it goes red.
You think it goes red? His hair's
Yeah.
definitely changing color if we lose against Brighton. That's for
Yeah.
It's definitely could be happening.
Yeah.
If either of the teams play any of the boys that came back from AFCON, those teams are delusional and should be fined a lot of money because
No,
it would be so
I don't think that
cruel.
happens. I don't think that
Yeah.
happens.
Oh, it's not just because Rishi was talking about Lyle Foster played for Burnley. Listen, man, I don't know
What were
what
your
level
predictions?
of competition South Africa were engaged in that tournament, but I'll tell you, I'll bet your bottom dollar, and Mbumo did more for Cameroon than Lyle Foster did for South Africa, right? Plus, you see the amount of energy they expend in those games. Like Mbumo looked knackered, and he had people falling over him, people falling onto him, just getting knocks and bumps, like elbows everywhere, right? The tackles there are like freaking WWE tackles.
Bro, I can't express this enough. It's an FA Cup game. Like honestly, like I know that it's a trophy and we should try, but you don't risk an Mbumo injury for an FA Cup game.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because I think our team, as it is, with the instructions that we're giving, is good enough to go win this
I have a
game.
different feeling about the FA Cup.
I
No,
think
no,
we're going to
you're
win
right.
this
It's
game, guys.
glorious,
I
but I
think
don't risk my
I agree with
best
that on this. I think we are. Whoever thinks we're going to lose this game is being a little too
But
doom
it's
and
the
gloom.
FA Cup. We
It's
could
gonna
win
be
it.
4-1 for us.
I don't know
We
about
could win it.
for
We'd be
one,
in
but
Europe.
One.
think
I'm
2-1.
telling you.
2-1. I'll predict a 2-1. I think Sheshko scores
7
again.
matches. You win 7 matches, you're in Europe, and you've got a trophy.
Oh yeah, like winning the FA Cup, right? Yeah, I agree. I think, in
And
fact,
that's United DNA.
yeah.
Winning
Yeah,
trophies.
I agree. But no, Shaylin, don't you think Ineos is looking at the FA Cup as the easiest way to get into Europe?
No,
No.
the league is much
Yeah.
easier in a sense.
No,
Yeah.
but like not Conference League though. Europa League or Champions League. And
Yeah,
I mean
true.
you can't make it to Champions League, but you can guarantee yourself a Europa League spot if you win the FA Cup.
But in the FA Cup, if you have one bad game, your chances
Yeah, exactly.
are
You're
zero
out.
after that.
Yeah,
Like
you're
one game
out.
and you're done.
But we're gonna have many bad games in the league.
Yeah,
Right?
but
We could.
every team has though. Like
Yeah.
every team's having many bad games. So you have more. You can get away with it.
So, Samix, what do you think? How many points we're getting out of City and Arsenal?
One. I hate you for making me say that though.
So a
We
draw out
draw-
of the two
we draw
games.
one and we lose.
That's actually a good point, though. To be honest,
one. Yeah, I know.
who
I think
who
we
are
get
you
6
getting a
points.
point against?
For some reason, I think City. Arsenal just has that luck
Did
on
Ed
us.
say
on, like,
6 points?
I think we get 6 points.
We're gonna
but
beat
Ed, you
both
also think
City
we're
and
gonna win
Arsenal.
4-1 tomorrow. If we don't win 4-1 tomorrow, I can't take you seriously.
Yeah, but I also think that your prediction is stupid, like you think mine is. So
I didn't call you stupid, dude.
yeah, whatever you say, it's gonna be stupid to me. It's just a prediction.
And are we hiring Ole? And
I
that's
think we
how we're
lose
going to
3
get 6
games in
points
a row.
against City and Arsenal?
By the way,
not.
guys, did you know that in
We're
one
hiring
calendar
Kelly.
year, Pep Guardiola has recruited 11 players from last January to today, and each one of them actually literally makes a 4-3-3. Like
Pep Guardiola has not.
No, minus Gahey. Sorry, 10 players. If they happen to get Gahey before this window closes, it'll be a full 11 players. It'll be a full 4-3-3 squad.
Please do not credit Pep for this. Credit Hugo Viana. And
I also wanna bring
Soriano.
I'm
something
not
up.
crediting anybody. I'm crediting Man City. Period. Like,
Yeah, the
Yes,
Man
there you
City
go.
decision-making structure.
Can I bring
already-
something
Yes.
up? They scored 10 goals today and Holland got 0. Now imagine if we won 10-1 and Šeško didn't get a single goal. What the narratives would be.
Mm.
It's two different teams. We can never compare ourselves to City again. Before, we couldn't compare them to us because they were so bad, and now we can't compare them because they're so good.
Did Holland even play? He
Yes.
did. Yeah, he played the first
Started.
half. He played the first half. Rico Lewis had 2 goals and assist. Their center back Elaine. That's what I'm saying, though, dude. I was talking to Rishi about this before. Like Arsenal, for me, they just go into every game like worried about losing, about missing out on the opportunity for the league. Whereas City are playing with literally Elaine, number 68 and number 45 are their 2 center backs.
Yeah, but that's like, it's Exeter City, dude. Like,
No, but they
Come
played
on.
this in the league. Last game against Brighton, they played these 2 center backs.
really?
Yeah.
Well, that's the
That's
City
just,
Academy. That's actually, top down,
Yeah.
thought out vision coming to life. Man.
They had number 91 come onto the pitch today, and they had a dude named Divine. Okay? I'm
Joe
just saying.
Divine.
Yeah, his name is Divine Mukasa.
It's because when the Exeter City players were coming out, they all stepped on the Man City badge, so they got battered for it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
showed disrespect to the badge.
Yeah, but when are we going to have these games, dude? Where, like, imagine a 10-1 game right now, how much that lifts the fan base.
Once
That'll
your
just be
academy
so-
actually starts producing world-class players, which will never happen. Everybody talks about, oh, United Academy is the DNA. When's the last time they produced somebody that went on to win a Champions League? Please tell me. Please tell me about this
Like-
academy. Lacey's from the cat. He's great. He's wonderful, but he still hasn't done anything. Right? You had Nico O'Reilly come through. He's in their starting 11. And he's phenomenal. Great player. He was a center back. They converted to a left back.
Yeah. He's also built like a Premier League player already.
Correct. So our academy motto right now is just buy the best academy players from other teams.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's not a bad model, though, right?
It's not, but you're taking a shot in the dark.
It kind of
but
is if you're trying to sell them on, right?
1.6 million euros on Aid in Heaven, and whatever we
I think
spent for
Gabriel
Roscoe-
plays
Huh?
off the bench.
Diego Leon.
JJ Gabriel? I think that's
What?
what Raphael was saying, right? JJ
are
Gabriel.
you
Like,
stuck?
Do you think JJ Gabriel will play off the bench?
No idea actually. This is the only competition he can play in because you have to be officially 15 before a season starts to play in the Premier League or something.
I'd let him for 5-10 minutes. I'd let him just to make him happy and keep him around and commit.
Yeah.
But
We'll
does
see.
that really count as your academy then if you buy a player at 18 years old from another academy?
Depends on if they play
15.
an official competition game. I think 2 or 3 official competition games because Heaven had already played League Cup games for Arsenal, and that's why he didn't count as an academy player for us. But we purchased Garnacho like that. He was like 16 or something when we bought him from Atletico. so he wasn't really like homegrown in our academy. So if they haven't played, we lost Rafael. If they haven't played in the like any official competitions for another team, then they count as an academy player for us. But even if they don't, my point is, Ed, that you know, even like building up players in the academy, generally speaking, it's much harder to do than to go convince some upcoming player that, you know, is on the fringes maybe of getting into the Man City team, but would be a first team player for us eventually because of the gap in quality. That's what we did with Arsenal, right? Because Aiden Heaven would have been perfect in terms of profile for Arteta, but they just didn't want to give him the minutes, and he took a chance with us, so we decided to get him over.
But I'm just saying, if you don't bring up a player from 15-16 that then makes your starting 11, I don't think that should get considered your academy. And even Fletcher threw out, oh, United's been all about academy. What academy? Rooney, Everton, Ronaldo, Sporting, right? Like, it's not just use the academy players.
Greenwood, Rashford, Mainu, these are all players. And
I think also like you got to think about the past, right? What is George Best out of our academy, or did we buy him?
Yes, yeah. I think
right.
They all are, and then all the class of '92.
Busby is from like Busby's one of ours, right?
Busby
like,
rebuilt
not one of ours.
club with.
Yeah, and all the legends, like, so that's where it comes from. It comes from history, and they're trying to grasp on to every last.
Give me 5. Give me 5 legends.
George Best.
All Scholes.
David
Bobby
Beckham counts as a
Charlton.
legend. I don't care what anybody
All
says.
Scholes, David Beckham, Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs is not from. He's not from United Academy.
What?
What are you
What are you talking about, bro? He's part of class of '92.
No, he's not. He's not platter class of '92. No, he's
Hold
not.
on.
But I thought he played in the academy for a little bit. But Ed might be right.
Apparently it's because he went to Man City first. That's why I was saying this.
Yep.
So funny.
He was in the City Academy for 2 years and then the United Academy for 3 years before he made the first team. So I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So City product. Fine, let's move forward.
Oh my god.
Bro, he has to like sign up first for the United Academy at 6 years old for us to consider him a United youth product. Because
I don't
I'm
make the
looking
rules.
You do
You
make the
clearly
rules.
do.
You are.
Everyone
You literally
knows
just
you
making the
making it
rules.
right
You're
now.
like, no, that doesn't count.
You're literally
Well, you guys are making
the
your own rules too. So
rules. But we
But
didn't
then
say we
don't
make
say you're
the
not
rules.
making the rules though.
we're all
'cause
making
I'm
the
looking-
rules.
I'm looking at let's see, when did he join?
Who?
Early years.
Dude,
Okay.
Duncan Edwards, Jimmy Murphy, the friggin' like we name our academy trophy. after
There's
that
so
guy,
many,
bro.
dude. If you ask me to name
Yeah.
20, I might struggle, but like there's easily 5. And
One guy
we got
sucks
sidetracked
toes.
with the gigs thing, but I'll tell you the class of '92. What are officially considered class of '92 are David Beckham, Nicky Butt, Ryan
Neville
Giggs, Gary
brothers.
Neville, Phil Neville, and Paul Scholes. Right? Gary Neville, with the amount of titles he's won, he's a United legend. Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham. Right? That's 4 right there. Then you bring up what's it called? The other players from much earlier, right? Anyways, the
Nabi
point is that
Styles.
like we're not at the level of like La
66.
Masia, right? I would agree with that in terms of the quality of our academy, but it also has a lot to do with how good your first team is. Because I think some of these players would be a lot better if our first team was a lot better also. Because they're coming into teams that are successful, like Nico O'Reilly, bro. I'm not seeing some like prime Maldini shit in him, right? He looks a lot better because he's playing for the best coach in the world right now, and he's also playing in one of the best teams in the world.
And I'm not seeing it from Mainu either.
Yeah, but even Mainu, don't you think Mainu looks a better player if he plays for came through the City Academy?
If he came through the City Academy or played for the City team.
No, okay, came through our academy and played for the City team.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
Yeah, so that's like the quality of the first team has actually let us down the most. More than
But I
anything
think what
else.
Ed is probably getting at is that there's a larger concern that if you're a player that's in the northwest of England and you have a choice between United's academy or City's academy, you're picking City's academy.
The Fletchers were at City's Academy.
They were, yeah. That's the thing. Is like if you're thinking of just sheer like
even
what am I,
Rooney's kids,
Yeah.
were at City Academy.
When your
Yeah.
own legends are putting their kids in the opposite academy, that says a lot. So we can't have Fletcher going out there and saying, oh, we need to rely on the academy. Guy, you put your own kids in the ops academy.
Yeah, but let's be real. He's
slime
saying
us.
that because he's being told to say that because they're not going to spend money, man. Like the whole plan, it's obvious. The plan is that we'll spend a little bit of money and then we got to cover the rest of the departments with our academy products. And some fans would tell you they don't mind that because some fans don't like selling academy products because you're going to do one or the other, right? Academy is an investment. You're either going to fill your squad with it or you're going to sell it off to raise money to buy players. And some people think that's sacrilegious to sell your academy products and use that money to buy players. They'd rather use our academy products. I'm of the whoever's better gets to play.
Yeah.
Like if the academy player is not good enough, sell them and go buy the better option. I'm a little more ruthless when it comes to that.
I think there's a lot
what
more
Ed was-
money.
I think maybe what you were
now.
I think maybe what you were talking about, Ed, is like the recent exports from our academy haven't been good enough, right?
Correct.
Like historically, we've had the academy be good and has produced results for us. And like, come on, can you think of a bigger baller for the profile of player he was than David Beckham, bro? He didn't have pace. He didn't have like explosive athletic talent. But just because of his technique, like he was like one of the most like easy on the eyes players, right?
Course,
in terms
but that's
of
class of 92. We're in class of 26 right now.
No, I know,
Go ahead.
I know. So for now, I'm getting to that. So for me right now, the problem we have is we spend almost the same amount of money as City do on their academy, like the whole infrastructure, and we don't produce the same level of talent, right? So it is that is a huge problem, and that's something that Ineos have to look at. Because
Well, I think we just recently started spending it, right, Andy? Not prior.
no,
Like
prior as well. We've always
No.
had a bigger academy budget than cities.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about
That's
that.
what I heard
Really?
from Andy Mitten on Talk of the Devils. He was talking about exact figures. He said our budget was like 25 million. Their budget was like 21 or 23. And then what's it called? Andy Mitten was actually upset that he was like, our academy is actually better than we think. And which I don't really have the amount of knowledge that Andy Mitten does to disagree with him. But based on what we've seen, I can disagree with him. Right.
That's kind of crazy that like we've had a big, because then where has that money gone? It's just like
Shaylin, it's always been execution, right? It hasn't been
Yeah.
about budgets. Now the problem is budgets. Because the problem is like our budget has remained kind of flat and the same when it comes to recruitment, whereas every other team's budget has gone up 20% in the last 5 to 8, 5 years probably. In the last 5 years, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, well, Chelsea's budget's gone up like 1,000,000%. But every big boy's budget has gone up 10, 15, 20%. Our budget has remained the same. We lie to ourselves and say like, oh, we spent 200 million. They backed the manager. Yeah, dude, when other teams are spending 400 million, what does it matter?
Yeah, fair. I think a composed view in this chat. We have also put out like a really nice point here. It's like it's a coaching problem. City's structure, bottom to senior team style of play, or have a structured style of play across all of them embedded into the club, and United doesn't, and that's like really true.
I agree with him there, but also, so is the problem then our academy is hampering our first team, or our first team is hampering our academy? It has to be
No,
one or the other.
no. I don't think it's either. Like those aren't the problems. It's more just like when you think of the cohesive way of playing, right? Like we.
No,
United
but
DNA.
Shaylin,
What is it?
I'll be honest though. I think it is our first team hampering the academy. I'll tell you why. Because when you look at academies, right? Academies are basically equivalent to like what university would be to you or me when we're trying to pick a school to go to, right? Like Harvard every year gets the best kids going there because they want to go there. And the more the best kids keep going there, the more quality graduates they produce, the more presidents they produce, the more CEOs they produce, etc. Right? So it's like it's one that plays off of each other. Like once Harvard became the top institution in the world or in America, it just
Right,
it became
but I don't think that
prophecy. So I think with City, the thing that's what's happened. They've been winning so much on the pitch that every parent that looks at their kid and says, okay, well, our kid is objectively performing better than all of the other kids in this category, so I'm going to send them to the City Academy, just like Rooney did with his kids, just like Fletcher did with his kids.
Right, but that's also not what like composed view is saying. That's not what I'm trying to say either. It's just that there's a clear idea in the club of this is how we want to play, and everybody within that structure is going to play in that way. Whereas we don't have a cohesive idea of how we're even going to play in the next game right now.
Yeah. No,
Right?
that's
And
a
so
part
this
of it.
is-
That's
this is like-
definitely a part of it. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So if there's dysfunction like across the board, then
You're not gonna have function until you keep a manager for more than 2 years.
which I think is going to bring us back full
problem is, like,
circle,
I
right?
think they're going to end up doing that with the wrong manager. Like this next manager, I'm stressed out about who the next manager is going to be. And I'm not talking about interim. I could care less. I don't care about anything temporary. Temporary is just, hey, let's hope it's fun to watch. That's all I care about. But
By the way, Egypt, Ivory Coast 3-2.
Wow.
Ooh,
Also,
how many
Chelsea,
minutes left?
Charlton 0-0 in the 35th minute, by the way.
How many minutes left? Then?
Rosenoir. Liam Rosenoir.
It's his first
Is that
match.
the final score? Or
Oh, by the way, Rishi
I don't
came up with a
agree.
good name. Rishi came up with a good name for the Chelsea coach. He said glasses to pie.
So I don't agree with a lot of stuff that Compose says, but I agree with him on this, where he says our senior team and Accent do not play the same way, and we do not have good enough coaches because we are disorganized. That is spot on. We put the money in, but we don't know how to distribute the money between where it's going to go within
Yeah.
that academy. I think the coaching is the biggest thing, because when you're a parent and you're putting your kids in a program, you want him to be coached by the best, not by
Yes.
the best legends, but by the best coaches.
Yeah.
that is the biggest problem.
Yeah, and I think we're
Composed
giving.
view. Come on. The stream.
You're making too much sense, Composed view. I don't like it.
No, but guys, let's leave it there. We'll see you guys at 10 o'clock again today. I've got some stuff to take care of, so no 5 p.m. stream again. Like I said, I'm getting ready to depart, go to India for 20 days. So it's going to be a lot of planning. But yeah, thank you guys. It was a nice chat. Thank you, Semix, for joining on. And maybe, guys, next time you go on to Semix's stream, please give him some super chats, because it looks like the electricity is gone in his room. He needs to keep the lights on. And then Shaylin is, as always, working hard for his Ineos money. And Ed, we'll talk again tonight. Let's see if something. Does anyone predict something's going to happen in the transfer window? Give us something to
What
talk
do you mean
about.
for United, or you mean is Gehi going to go to City?
No, for United, bro.
Yes. We'll be linked. We'll be monitoring. We'll be
monitoring
admiring
FC?
from afar.
We
Exactly.
I'll be
might-
watching the other
we
team
might
sign
call
players.
Brighton and
That's what I'm
say,
gonna
"Hey,
do.
you want to sell Baleba?" They say no, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's about as far
Yeah,
as it goes.
Fabricio is definitely dropping a tweet saying like United are ramping up interest in Carlos Baleba through intermediaries, and then their CEO is going to come back and say, "We have heard nothing from Manchester
They're in
United."
love with Baleba.
Oh, I think Brighton are saying the same things that we've been saying, by the way. Like, have you seen how good he's at AFCON? Because they haven't seen him do that in training or on the pitch. And they're just like, oh, you know what? We were thinking of letting him go for 100. The price just went up to 200.
Dude, Fabian Hertzler, when Baleba comes back, is going to be like, "You're not the same player I saw at AFCON."
Yeah, he's had the reverse Ugarte, you know? Where Amram's like, oh, you're not the same player I saw at Sporting. But anyways, guys, we'll see you at 10 p.m. today. Thank you for joining today. Thank you guys for contributing as well, the panelists. And we'll see you later. Bye.
I
See ya.